Body is an amazing mechanism to maintain the equilibrium. So Vega is one among them. Vega means the natural urges on the regular interval. It is indicating so many things to eliminate the waste products from the body or the need of a body. Vegam is considered as the function of the Vayu. So there are two sets of Vegam. One is Dharaniya Vegam and other one is Adharaniya Vegam. So Dharaniya Vegam means we are supposed to suppress it. Adharaniya Vegam means we are not supposed to suppress and not to induce. So these are the two sets of Vegas. So coming to the first set of Vega, that is Dharaniya Vega. They are Dharayetu Sada Vegan, Hiteshi, Pretyaja Ihaja, Lobhershya, Dvesha, Malsarya, Ragadinam, Jitendriya. So Jitendriya means the one who conquered the mind or the one who understands the mind to maintain its balance. He should suppress the natural urges of the mind. They are Ragadi Rogan. Because as we discussed before, all diseases are manifested in the mind because that can directly transform into the disease of the body, which is having a huge impact on the body. So if you are not suppressing it, then it can lead to disease. So they are Lobha, Ishya, Dvesha, Malsarya, Ragadinam, Jitendriya. So these are the hatredness, fear, deep sorrow, anger. So these kind of emotional outbursts are called as the Dharaniya Vega. So what happens if we are not suppressing it? Either it can impact ourselves or it can impact the others. So how to suppress it? Suppose if you are suppressing these kind of emotions, it will be directly influencing our body as a disease. So how to deviate these energy flow into some other form? Pranayama is the best technique to control or to suppress the Dharaniya Vega. So have you mentioned there is a change in the breathing pattern when you are emotionally disturbed. So this is the technique of pranayama. Suppose you are having anger on somebody, there will be a difference in the breath. Suppose you have deep sorrow, again there will be a different pattern of your breath. Suppose you are in a peace, again there will be a different pattern of breath. So just think it in the other way. If you can control the breath, you can control the emotions. So what I am trying to say is, if you try to suppress it as it is, then it will impact in the body and it will be converting into the disease. But at that time, if you can do some kind of pranayama or a deep breathing, then we can control your emotions and suppress it. So the second thing is Adharaniya Vegam. That means you are not supposed to suppress these natural urges and not to induce it. So the Vegas or the natural urges are created by the Vayu and which is controlled by the nervous system. So if you suppress or induce, it is directly harming the nervous system. And we all know all bodily functions are controlled by the nervous system. So suppose when you are sitting in a meeting, then if you are yawning, then it doesn't look good. And suppose if you have a sneezing, if the sneezing comes, so we all have a tendency to suppress the natural urges. In the chapter of Rogani Padaniyam Adhyayam, this Dharaniya Vega and Adharaniya Vegas are mentioned. So Adharaniya Vega means Adharaniyam, that means you are not supposed to suppress. And Vega means natural urges. So what happens when we suppress these kind of natural urges? So coming into the natural urges one by one. There are 13 sets of natural urges which is mentioned by Charakacharya. So they are Veganna Dharayen, Vata Vinmutra Kshavadrikshudham, Nidra, Kasa, Shramashvasa, Jrimbhashru, Chardi, Redasam. So these are called as the Adharaniya Vega. That means we are not supposed to suppress it and not supposed to induce it. If you do it 1 or 2 days, it doesn't matter, it will not affect in the body. But if you do the same kind of suppression or induction of the natural urges for a longer period of time, which can lead to dangerous diseases. So when you go through each and every Dharani Vega and its complications, then we will understand that ultimately it can lead to problems related with the nervous system, the sense organs, and ultimately to the heart diseases. So this is the very important and a significant concept to maintain the health. Coming to the first Vega, that is Adhovadam, that means flatulence. Adhovadasya rodhena gulmuda avarta ruklama vada mutra shagatsanga drishti agnivata hridgada. So what happens when you control the flatulence all the time? I'm not trying to show you to surprise when you sit in front of somebody, but it is always better you give time for the body to accept the natural urges. So coming to the complications, Adhovadasya rodhena gulma. Gulma means abdominal tumors. That means any kind of tumor which occurs in the abdomen, and which can be the PCOD, fibroid, or a cyst in the uterus, or whatever other benign or malignant type of tumors. So this is called as gulmam. And udavartam. Udavartam means painful movement of the vayu upward. That means there are many people, they always have a sound or grumbling of the abdomen. So this is the major complications. That also will be along with the pain. So this is udavartam. And ruk means pain. It can be all over the body or locally. And klama means there will be tiredness or laziness or not interest in doing anything. There are many people we can see with these kind of symptoms or lakshanas. Suppression of the adhovayu could be the main reason. And vata mutra shagat sangam. There will be sangam, that means obstruction of the vayu, that means the flatulence. And then again there will be bloated feeling in the stomach. That is the reaction for the vata sangam. The mutra sangam, that means there will be retention of the urine. The problem is all the functions of the apana vayu is the releasing of the flatulence, urination, the bowel movement. So if one is affected, definitely the other one is also going to be affected. That is why when you suppress the flatulence for longer period, that will be impacted in the urine problem and related issues. So mutra sangam and sangha, or the obstruction of the chagra, that means the bowel movement. And we have already discussed about the problems related with the constipation, which indirectly affecting the mind. And the main thing is drishti vadham, that means the impairment in the vision. Drishti vadham and agni vadham, there will be reduction in the digestive system, because the digestive system is controlled by the vayu. And hridgadam, that means the problems or the diseases related with the heart. It can be very simple kind of heart diseases to the maximum dangerous conditions of the heart. So here we will be confused. The cardiology will be a different department. When you talk about specialty and super specialty, this all belong to different departments. But ultimately when you understand the human as a whole, if one system is affected, then definitely that will be affecting to the other system. Next is Shagadvega Dharanam, that means suppression of the bowel movement or inducing the bowel movement. Shagrada Pindigodveshta Pradishyaya Shiroruja Urdhavayu Parikarta Hridayasya Uparodhanam Mukhena Vipravartischa. So these are the complications of the Purisha Vega Dharana, that means suppression of the bowel movement. They are Shagrada Pindigodveshtam. Many people will be suffering from the muscle cramps, especially behind the calf region, because calf is considered as the second heart of the body. So the main complication of Purisha Vega is Pindigodveshtam. That means muscle cramps. So we may be applying some local cream, but we have to analyze ourselves whether we have evacuated the bowel completely every day or whether we are suppressing it every day. So this could be the muscle cramps kind of related, can be avoided if you do the bowel movement every day without suppressing it. That is Pindigodveshtam. Next is Pradishyayam. Pradishyayam means running nose. There will be many people, they feel that they have allergic rhinitis. But these could be the complication of the Purusharega Dharana. That means suppression of the bowel movement all the time. So those who are having the running nose all the time, or in the morning hours there is a running nose, they should analyze ourselves, and if they are suppressing it, they have to avoid. This is Pradishyayam. Shiroruja. Shiroruja means the headache. So many people are suffering from migraine. So migraine and the related issues could be related with the suppression of the Purusharega. So there's a relationship between the head and the excretory system. And the next complication is Hridayasya Uparodhanam. That means it can affect the heart. See how beautiful the connection between the excretory system and the heart, because both are controlled by the Vayu. Hridayasya Uparodhanam. That means there will be some derangement in the function of the heart. So next is Mukhena Vipravartischa. That means many people, they are having bad odor in their mouth. So this may not be related with the problem with the mouth. This could be from internal. So those who are having a habit of suppressing the bowel movement, they will be suffering from the bad odor in their mouth. So these are the complications of Shagrat Vega Dharana. Next is Mutra Vega Dharanam. That means suppression or induction of the Mutra Vega, that is the urge of the urine. Angabhanga Ashmari Vasti Nedra Vankshana Vedana Mutrasya Rodhal. So this is the complication of Mutra Vega Dharana. That means Angabhanga. There will be pain all over the body. So we may feel that it is because of the arthritis and related issues, but just analyze ourselves whether we are doing the suppression of the urine for a longer period. So this could be the reason. Angabhanga. Next is Ashmari. Ashmari, that means kidney stones. There's a chance of getting calculitis in the body. And Vasti Vedra Vankshana Vedana, there will be pain in the related organs. So if you are getting the pain in the urinary bladder or urethra, we have to analyze ourselves whether we have done the suppression of the Mutra Vega or not. So these are the complications of Mutra Vega Dharana. The fourth Vega, which is controlled by the Apanavayu, is Shukla Vega. That means suppression of the Vega of the semen. Shukral Talsravanam, Guhya Vedana, Shvedhurjira, Mutrasanga, Angabhanga, Vriddhi, Ashma, Shandada. So these are the complications of it. So what are they? Guhya Vedana, severe pain in the genital organs. Shvedhu, the swelling in the related organs. And Vriddhi means there are many people, they are suffering from the hernia and the related issues. So especially the youngsters. So they all need to analyze themselves whether they have done the suppression of the Shukla Vega, Vriddhi. Then next is Ashma. That means seminal calicula. There will be stone formation inside the organ. And the Shandada, there will be impotency. So if you do the Shukla Vega Dharana for a longer period, which can lead to impotency. So this concept is very important in the present scenario. So next Vega Dharana is Chhardi Vega Dharana. That means suppression of the vomiting. So what is the significance of Chhardi Vega Dharana nowadays? That means there are many people, they are suffering from the motion sickness. That means once they started traveling, they just vomit. So they take a precautionary measure that they just take a medicine to suppress the vomiting. There are many pregnant women, they are having huge set of vomiting. So again they will be suppressing the Chhardi Vega. Many people, they induce vomiting, especially those who are in the acting field and in the film industry. So they eat the food whatever they like to their full stomach. So and after some time, before it getting digested, they just induce vomiting so that it doesn't get digested and absorbed by the body. So both are very dangerous condition. So what will be the complications if you induce or suppress the Chhardi Vega? Nisarpa Kotha Kushta Akshigandu Panduamaya Jwara Sa Kasa Shwasa Hrillasa Vyanga Shwayatavo Vame. So these are the complications. All sorts of skin problems will happen if you induce or suppress the Chhardi Vega. There are many people, they are having different kinds of skin problems, starting from the dryness of the skin till eczema. So this could be the main reason for having the skin disease. Visarpam, Kota means there will be discoloration in the skin. Kushtha, Akshikandu, there will be itching in the eyes. Because these kind of problems happens because of the impairment of the kapha inside the body. So that is leading to the indigestion and leading to the skin issues. Pandu Amayam, that means there will be reduced level of hemoglobin or reduced level of blood in the body. Next is Jwaram. Jwaram doesn't mean that fever or a feverish feeling, always bitter taste in the mouth. That means something is going on inside or some kind of diseases are going to manifest that is affecting the Agni or the digestive system. And Sakasa Shwasa, that means the problems are starting in the respiratory system. Skin and the respiratory system are directly related. If one is affected, definitely the other one is also going to affect. So Kasa means there will be severe cough and Shwasa means there is a chance of getting asthma. So Kasa Shwasa Hrillasam. Hrillasam means nausea. Always nauseated feeling will be there if you do the Chhardi Vega Dharana all the time. Vyangam means there is a discoloration in the skin. For many women there is a discoloration in the skin, especially in the face area like a butterfly. That is called as in the shape of a butterfly. That is called as Vyangam. And there is a chance of having swelling in the body. So these are the complications of Chhardi Vega Dharana. Next set of Vega is Kshavadhu and Jumbha. That means sneezing and yawning. So why so much importance in the Vega Dharana of sneezing and yawning? Because when you sit in front of some people, especially in the classes, if you yawn, it doesn't look so good or the teacher is cold. So this kind of mentality will be there. And especially for ladies, when they sneeze, just because it doesn't look good, they just close their mouth and the nose so that the sound will not come out. So these kind of habits are not so good because that can lead to different types of diseases. They are Shirorti, Indriya Daurbalya, Manyastambha, Ardidam, Kshudhe. So for the suppression of the yawning and the sneezing, these kind of complications can happen. They are Shirorti, there will be pain in the head. So this we can compare with the migraine or related type of headaches. There are many people, they are having headaches regularly. So this could be one of the main reason. Shirorti, Indriya Daurbalyam. There will be some derangement in the function of the Indriyam. Durbalada means weakness. There will be weakness of the sense organs because all sense organs are situated in the head. So if you do the suppression of sneezing and yawning, it can directly affect the sense organs. And next is Manyastambham. Manyastambha means stiffness of the neck. Some people when they get up, they have a stiff neck. So this could be one of the reason, or it can directly affect the problems of the neck. That is Manyastambham. And the major and the dangerous disease by the suppression of the sneezing and the yawning happens is Ardidam. Ardidam means facial palsy. When we are starting explaining the complications of sneezing and yawning, we don't feel that this is a very important or significant Vega. But if you do the suppression of the sneezing and the yawning, which can lead to Ardida or facial palsy. And there is a habit for some people, they are just induce the sneezing by putting something in the nose, which is also not so good habit because that also can lead to these kind of complications. Next is Udgaram. Udgaram means the Vega of belching. So after having a full meal, we all belch. But because in front of everyone, we will be hesitated to do that. So what happens when you suppress the belching all the time, or what happens when you induce it. So udgarasya aruchi kambo vibandho hridayoraso adhamana kasa hidhamascha. So these are the complications of the udgara vega dharana. That means udgarasya aruchi, there will be some bad taste in the mouth, or people those who do continuous suppression of the udgara vega, they won't be having a good appetite. Aruchi. Kambo means there will be shivering of the body. Kambo. Thus we cannot compare with the Parkinson's kind of dangerous diseases, but still we may not be able to control our hand and feet because of the kampana, because of the excessive movement of the body parts. Kambam. Vibandho hridayoraso. Hridaya vibandham ura vibandham. There will be some heaviness over the heart and the related areas. And then there will be adhamanam. Adhamana means fullness of the stomach. The belching is because of the movement of the diaphragm. If you suppress the belching, then there will be imbalance or the provocation of the vaya, that indirectly affecting the abdomen. So there will be fullness. Adhamanam. Then again it will affect the respiratory system if you do it for a longer period. Kasam and hidhama. Kasam means it is the severe coughing. So severe coughing can lead to the asthmatic nature. So these are the complications of udgara vega dharana. Next is shuddha vega dharana. That means suppression of the natural urge of hunger. Angabhanga, aruchi, glani, karshya, shula, bhrama, kshuddha. So the complication of doing fasting too much without understanding the body, what happens will be angabhangam. There will be a lot of pain in the body. Aruchi, there will be anorexia. There won't be understanding of a taste. Angabhanga, aruchi, glani, karshya, glani. Glani means there will be tiredness or no interest in doing anything. Glani. Then next is karshya. Karshya means krishada. The person is going to lean too much. So karsham indirectly means it is influencing the level of the immunity. So if you do fasting, there are many different kinds of fasting nowadays, like ketone fasting and maybe juice fasting, soup fasting. If you select the fasting according to the strength of the body, it is fine. If you are exerting too much, which can lead to the reduction in the immunity level. Karshyam. Next is shula. Pain all over the body will happen if you do too much of hunger suppression. Brahma. Brahma means giddiness or illusion. We won't be understanding what exactly is happening around us. So this is called as Brahmam. So these are the complications of Shuddha Vega Dharana. Next is Trid Vega Dharana. That means suppression of the natural hunger of thirst. Many people are saying you are supposed to drink lot of water. So if that much water is required, or can we generalize the quantity of water intake, is a very big question. So body will show certain symptoms that it needs something. That means suppose you are feeling hunger, that means your body needs food. The same way we feel thirst. So according to the thirst, we have to drink water. But what if we are suppressing it? Or what if we are inducing it? That means over drinking the water. Then these kind of complications can happen. They are Shosha, Angasada, Badhirya, Sammoha, Brahma, Hridgadaha, Trishnaya, Nigraha. These are the complication of the Trishna Vega Dharana. They are Shosham. Shosham means dryness of the body. That means indirectly it is affecting the immunity level. Shosha. Anga Sadam. There will be tiredness in the body. Anga Sada. Badhiryam. See, suppression of the thirst will affect the Badhirata. That means it affects the sense organs. That means gradually the person is going to be deaf. Badhiryam. Then Brahmam. There will be giddiness, illusion kind of problems can happen. In Hridgadam. Problems related with the heart also can happen if you suppress or induce the Trishna Vegam. Next is Nidra Vega Dharanam. That means suppressing or inducing the urge of sleep. Nidraya, Moha Murdhakshi Gaurava, Alasya Jrimbhiga, Angamardascha. So these are the complications of Nidra Vega Dharana. So the chances of having the suppression of the sleep and inducing the sleep is very common nowadays. People, those who are having night shift, or they just use the television or the mobile phones just to push themselves at night. So these kind of habits are not so good. If you have job, there is no other way. But otherwise, it is better not to suppress the sleep. What happens if you suppress the sleep? Moham. Moham means delusion, illusion. That means you won't be understanding what is happening outside. Illusions will be there. You will be hearing some other sounds. So those kind of complications can happen. It feels that you are going crazy. Nidraya, Moham. Murdha Gauravam, Akshi Gauravam. Murdha Gauravam means there will be heaviness over the head. It may not be because of the phlegm in the body, because you may be suppressing the sleep for a longer period. And Akshi Gauravam, there will be heaviness in the Akshi, that means in the eyes. So if you do the suppression of the sleep for a longer period of time, it can indirectly influence, or it can indirectly weaken the sense organs. And then Murdhakshi Gaurava, Alasyam. Alasyam means laziness. I'm not interested in doing anything. Laziness will be there. And so the person will feel that it is a tiredness, but actually it will be laziness. Jrimbhiga, always yawning. So this is also not so good when you are presenting something in front of everyone, or when you are in a meeting. Always yawning is not a good habit. So these kind of complications can happen if you don't have a sufficient amount of sleep, or if you suppress the sleep. Next is Bashpa Vega Dharanam. That means suppression of the natural urge of cry or tears. So when you are emotionally disturbed, the tears comes automatically in the form of cry. So people don't like to cry in front of others. So what happens? We suppress. And in the film industry and all, they just induce it according to the situations. So if you do the inducing the Bashpa Vega and suppressing the Bashpa Vega for a longer period, it can lead to different kinds of problems. Penasa, Akshishiro Hrudruk, Manyastambha, Aruchi Brahma, Sagunma Bashpada. So these are the complications of the Bashpa Vega Dharanam, Bashpa Vega Nigraham. They are Penasam. There will be a chance of running nose if you suppress it. Akshishiro Hrudruk. There will be pain in the Akshi, that means in the eyes. Shira means the head, and Hrudayam. So there is a chance of getting pain in the eyes, head, and the chest and related areas. Next is Manyastambham. So there will be stiffness in the neck region. And Aruchi. So there won't be taste in the mouth. There will be a chance of anorexia. Brahma means again giddiness. Sagunma Bashpada, so which can ultimately lead to gulma or tumors of the abdomen, which is very difficult to connect between the Bashpa Vega Dharana and the development of gulma, because we have already explained about the connection between the mind and the Vayu, and the main seat of Vayu is the Apana, that means the lower abdomen. So if you suppress the urge of the cry, we can understand how Bashpa Vega Dharana is connected to the development of a gulma, that means the abdominal tumors. So next is Shramashwasam, the suppression of the Shramashwasam. Shramashwasam means the deep breath on exertion. So what happens when we suppress the Shramashwasam? Gulma Hridroga Sammoha Shramashwasat Vidharadat. We don't think that Shramashwasam suppression is so much important nowadays, because it can lead to dangerous disorders. That means Gulma, that the abdominal tumors, Hridrogam, diseases related with the heart, and Sammoham, there will be delusions. Person will not be understanding the outside world, Moham. So those kind of complications can happen when you induce or suppress the Shramashwasa. So next is Kasa Vega Dharanam. Kasa means coughing. So Kasa Vegam comes as a part of urge and as a part of a disease. So if you suppress both as a disease or as a natural urge, it can lead to so many complications. So how the kasa comes, if suppose something has gone in the throat, then the body is trying to remove that. Even with the disease, it is a abnormality of the vayu. So if you suppress the kasa, what happens? Kasasya roga tadvriddhi shwasa aruchi hridamaya shosho hidmaja. So these are the complications of kasa vega dharana. If you are inducing or suppressing the kasa vega, these complications can happen. They are tadvriddhi, that means there will be increased bouts of cough comes if you try to suppress it. Kasasya roga tadvriddhi shwasa, that means asthma or problems related with the breathing. Shwasa, aruchi. Aruchi means anorexia. There will be bad taste in the mouth. Person will not be having an interest in taking food. Hridamaya, problems related with the heart. Because when you cough, the diaphragm moves up and down so much, so which indirectly impairs the function of the heart, and which can lead to hridamaya, problems or diseases related with the heart. Next is shosham. Shosham is we can indirectly compare with the TB or reducing the immunity level in the body. Shosho, hidmaja, continuous attack of hiccups in a regular intervals. So these are the complications of kasa vega dharana. So for concluding the Roganilpadini Adhyayam, that is the Vega Dharana and Vega Udirana, suppression of the natural urges and inducing the natural urges can lead to so many complications. In the daily life, if you take care of these kind of small things, ultimately that can enhance the health of a person. Here we are going to conclude the Sadvrutham with the shloka. So then this Sadvrutham will be in a capsule form. Nityam hitahara vihara sevi samikshikari vishayeshu asakta data sama satyapara kshamavan apta upasevi cha bhavatyaroga. So these are the rules we can, if you are following, then the person can be aroga, bhavati aroga. That means the person can be diseased free. So what are they? Nityam hita ahara vihara sevi. Hita aharam and hita viharam, which we have already explained in the Upastambham, that 4 pillars of the body which sustains the health. That means the diet, good diet and good regimen. That is aharam and viharam. So this is called as hita aharam and hita viharam. This is very important in the maintenance of the health. Next is samikshakari. Samam ikshakari samikshakari. That means one should analyze ourselves. One should go deep inside our positivity. We should understand what exactly is happening inside. For that you should give some time for yourself, at least 5 minutes every day in the morning hours. Then only we can understand the imbalances in you. Once we understand the imbalances in you, then we can correct it. Vishayeshu asakta. Asakta means no desire or less desire. Vishayeshu, with the worldly luxuries. We all will be having a desire towards luxuries and the happiness. And if you are behind that too much, then that can lead to unhealth. That means if you are too much abusing the sense organs, if you are too much behind the happiness of the mind, then we may be deviating from the dharma. So if you are deviating from the dharma, which can lead to any kind of abnormality in the body. That is Vishayeshu asakta. We are not supposed to deviate from the dharma. Vishayeshu asakta. We should not have too much desire towards the comfort or luxuries. That is Vishayeshu asakta. Next is Dada Sama. That means Sarvadharmeshu Madhyama is a rule which is told by Ayurveda. Or it is a world truth that we have to follow the middle path. Not too extreme and not too low. That is Dada Sama. And we always should help others. Dada Sama. Satyavara. Always truthful. That truthfulness will help everyone to be healthy. Next is Kshamavan. Kshama means forgiving. Kshamavan means the person has to forgive to the others. Then only we can maintain the peace of mind. That is Kshamavan. Aptobasevicha. Apta means a good person or a good-minded person, a successful person, or an intelligent person. So if we follow an apta, then we can be like them, or we can try to be like them. So these are the rules. If we follow and practice in the daily life, we can be aroga. That means we can be devoid of any kind of diseases. So swasthasya swasthya rakshanam is the first aim of Ayurveda that we have already discussed in the first session. So that is actually the aim, or that is what Acharya really wanted us to follow. So we all can be a healthy person by following the Swasthya Vratam. Namaskaram.